everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, and if you didn't know, we are the UK's only TV programme that's really dedicated to helping you in your mental health and well-being. Well, today we're going all natural with founder of Odette Beauty, Paige Sinnott, who'll be telling us why she uses only the most natural and organic beauty products in her store. We'll also be hearing all of this week's mental health news with Helena Chard in Behind the Fame. Then later on in the programme, Dr. Rob Hicks will be answering all of your medical questions in this week's Doctor's Answers. We'll also be seeing how Julie-Ann and I got on when we had breakfast and lunch actually at Bubba Gump in London. And Professional Declutterer Sally Walford will be giving her tips on how to clean and tidy that messy kitchen. Then at the end of the show, I'll be giving you some tips courtesy of foodbabe.com on how you can go organic without having to break the bank. Now, it's a question many of us have asked over the years: is going organic healthier for you? Well, as always, there are differing opinions, but the general consensus seems to be no, there is no scientific proof that organic food is healthier than non-organic. In 2012, Stanford University's Centre for Health Policy did the biggest comparison of organic and conventional foods and found no clear evidence of organic products being more nutritious. But that's not to say organic is a myth. According to Soil Association, organic means working with nature, not against it. They say organic means fewer pesticides, no artificial colours or preservatives, the highest standards of animal welfare, no routine use of antibiotics, as well as no genetic modification. Well, we wanted to hear some of your thoughts on the matter, so we took to Twitter to find out. Daisy says, I can't believe my entire family eats food from Aldi, but the dog gets Waitrose organic dog food. Ines says, I have trust issues with food that has 2 or more names before the actual name itself. Low fat, unsweetened, organic, and then the name of the food. Kokoshi says, be consistent. Organic beauty products work slowly but surely compared to chemical-laden products, but the results will be worth it. Tony says, I refuse to believe that button mushrooms are organic. They were made in a factory out of styrofoam. Stacey says, transitioning to homemade organic hair and skincare products this summer, and I'm super excited to see the progress and health. So we'd love to hear the verdict, Stacey. And eco-friendly tips say, choosing organic is a benefit to your body and the plant. And as always, we love to hear your comments about past shows and what you like about our content. So here's a few of the comments this week. Jan Merck commented on our afternoon tea boat tour video. He says, lovely, visit London frequently and did not know about this. Wow, splendid. And actually, you should definitely check it out. It was amazing. And Tom Cat comments on our advert for Class Charities Walking Out of Darkness event, which I participated in recently. This means a lot to me as I've been suffering from depression and anxiety for years. I attempted suicide in 2010. So thank you very much for those comments, and the people that are struggling, actually, the viewers that did write and say you're going through certain things, please, if you haven't already gotten help from someone, please make sure you do see your doctor or professional. And we also asked you, do you use organic products? So past guest Vicky Coombs said, as much as possible, both for my food and beauty. My way of giving back to our planet, to looking after my skin, to minimise chemical use. Well, some interesting thoughts there, but before we talk to Paige, here's Helena Chard with this week's Behind the Fame. Welcome to the show, Helena.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Lovely to have you on.
Thank you.
So what's in the news this week?
Oh, lots of things in the news. Actually, there's things which have been coming up. There's lots of things on education, I've noticed. So lots of people giving out scholarships and various people. It's becoming like a fad in a way, which is good. Yeah. It's good. It's a good thing to do. So Beyonce, marking her 1-year anniversary of Lemonade, her visual album, she's announced her new scholarship for the bold and creative young woman who thinks out of the box. So she's got that up and running, I think, in 3 universities. It's making an impact. But then I heard also Nicki Minaj as well. Apparently she was tweeting, you know, who wants to see me, who wants to meet up with me, and then everyone came in saying, well, we'd rather you pay for our, you know, our scholarships. It's a bit, but I mean, cheeky. Quite a bit cheeky in a way. But I mean, I suppose if they can give in that way, it's quite good, isn't it? So
how
again,
many people though can...
I know, there has to be a cut-off line, doesn't there? So she's been giving lots and lots of money away, thousands and thousands, but they have to either be straight A students or be able to prove how devoted they are to their studies. Okay. You can imagine, otherwise you'd be giving money to everybody. In fact, and also I saw it on the Ellen show, so it's a big thing of giving money away. Anyway, so moving on to Brad Pitt. Now we always, you know, there's a Brad Pitt and Angelina, and then obviously the divorce and things going on, but there's a really lovely moving interview with Brad Pitt, quite a raw interview where he's sort of really talking about how he feels, and it's about his breakup, quitting drinking, divorce, and just really where he is now. So I think he's about 53, but he's spent his whole life running away from things, never dealing with anything, and he used drink as his...
Could explain a lot, couldn't it?
Yeah. So he's now gone back to basics. He's enjoying having therapy. He literally is sort of making a fire in the morning, fire in the evening, and he's sort of out in nature, sculpting. So he's getting in touch with his feelings, which is great. And he's been very honest because he was brought up with a very typical sort of male-dominated father who also didn't talk about his feelings. So it's.
But then look at what it leads to when you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. But so good. I mean, some great photographs with it. You know, there's just some real raw emotion because you always see him. You sort of think of this Hollywood star, and actually he thinks that acting is less than 10% of his life, which is quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's saying family is everything to him. So he's turned a corner, which is good for him. And we've spoken about Malala Yousafzai quite a few times.
Yes,
I do find that surname tricky, but I hope I did that okay. So she's obviously the Nobel Peace Prize winner, but she's also the youngest ever UN Messenger of Peace. So she's recently accepted this accolade in New York. And really, I mean, she's a symbol of education, isn't she? Education for all. Yeah. So really quite inspiring. And she's always saying, you know, if you want to see your future bright, you've just got to really go for it. You know, you can't wait for anyone. If you want something, you've just got to grab it and go for it. And it's just such a positive message. So I like that. And also, Saudi women now, you know, no longer need men's permission to seek education, health, care and work, which is great. Because we forget how, you know, how we have it. And there's so many countries that still don't.
It's crazy.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So we know that everyone talks about childhood stress, and people didn't realise, you know, for years how toxic stress can be. It can be an absolute killer, can't it? So it's really lovely to see that there's a children's book that's come out for parental depression, and it's called Peri Panda. And it's got amazing reviews. It's written by, she just calls herself Helen, so I'm not too sure what her surname is, who's trained in psychology and has worked in the mental health field. And she realised there was an increasing need for youngsters, sort of like 2 to 6 years, to have something to explain, you know, why mummy or daddy or family member is sad. Because lots of times, you know, they're forgotten about, or they think that the young child won't pick up on it.
Which they definitely do.
And they absolutely do. Yeah, so it's a brilliant thing. And obviously then they blame themselves and all the rest of it. So these books apparently they're animated, really, and they're sort of poetic. And it leads the child to actually ask questions. So it's good for families, it's good for schools, it's good for everywhere. So it's fabulous. So that's Peri Panda. And what? Oh, right, okay. So also a funny one that I saw, which is it's to do with a horse called Metro, and he basically saved his own life, really, because his owners bought him to sort of ride and maybe to race a little bit, but he got quite ill, and they realised he was a fantastic racehorse and then, you know, they couldn't afford all the medication and things to do with his joints and various things. So the artist owner called Ron realised he was a really sparky character. This is the horse, a great personality, and he liked sort of using his nose and various things. Anyway, but the crux of it is he's made some brilliant paintings, and now they're selling and making loads of money. So it's paid for his medication, but it's also paid for, obviously, you know, livelihood and various things. So I like the fact that he's an A-list extroverted horse, which is funny, isn't it? So that's good fun. Something was interesting to me because my family live in Sweden. So Sweden's opened the world's first mall for repaired and recycled goods. So, which is good in lots of sense because it's made loads and loads of jobs for people. Obviously, for the government and things, you don't have to pay to have these things taken away, and it's just so good to be able to recycle things. Yes, can you imagine having a whole mall full of recycled? It's called Ratuna Recycling Galleria. It's nothing to do with tuna fish. It's just the name of the gallery, but amazing. So I just think that's fantastic. And moving on, last one. This is something that I heard a while ago, which I think it just tickled me a little bit, because I'm like that when I look at things and spellings. So Simon Kellner is Bristol's apostrophe vigilante. He basically would go around at night and he made an apostrophizer, is that right? So you know when you have people misuse apostrophes in words, and he'd go around and he'd change all the I mean, he just did it at his own expense. And when people put it in the wrong place, he'd actually got stickers.
I suppose it is annoying, isn't it?
Up.
I get annoyed by things like that.
I do too. It's one of those little bugbears, but I thought, good for him.
Well done.
He did it in the
He made it to Behind the Fame News with Helena Chard.
He did. In darkness.
Thank you, Helena, and we'll see you again next week.
Yes.
Brilliant to have you on again.
Can I have some cake?
Yes, you can have some cake. We won't tell anyone. All right, guys, so a question for you. Do you get enough fruit as part of your daily routine? Well, there are many ways of getting those 5 a day into your system. And here, Danielle Shine gives us a delicious idea for blueberry jam. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone! It's important to incorporate a little fruit into your diet most days, focusing on lower inflammatory fruits like pears, apples and berries. Blueberries are one of my favourite things to enjoy because they taste amazing, but they're also incredibly health supportive. Aside from being rich in antioxidants, blueberries contain compounds that can slow aging, prevent disease and lower bad cholesterol that can cause strokes and heart attacks. A great way to enjoy blueberries is in healthy homemade jam. So come and join me in the kitchen and let's have some foodie fun. Jam. Great on toast, porridge, even yogurt, but most brands contain processed sugar that can negatively impact your health. It's far easier and much healthier to make your own using just 3 natural whole food ingredients. Start with blueberries. Buy frozen, which is more cost effective, and add to a small saucepan over a medium heat. You want to warm the berries enough so they release their juice and become soft. Add fresh lemon juice, which helps to set and preserve the jam, then puree this mix together with the heat off. Lastly, add in chia seed, the key ingredient of this jam. Chia seed is packed with healthy protein and omega-3 fatty acids that support your body and its organs to work well. In this recipe, chia seed acts as a binder and will slowly thicken to a jam consistency over a low heat. Be sure to stir the mix continuously to activate the chia seed, and soon enough you'll see your blueberry jam come together. At this point, taste and adjust the flavour to your liking. You can add a teaspoon of natural sweetener like honey or agave if you want to, but this mix is pretty sweet enough on its own. A great way to add sweetness without the insulin spike is to use health-supportive spices like cinnamon, nutmeg or ginger. Pour your jam into an airtight glass jar to store in the fridge for up to 1 week. It's important to keep it cool when not in use because unlike store-bought jam, it's made from all natural, fresh ingredients that will go bad if left out in the heat. Natural food is the best food. I hope you enjoy this delicious, nutritious, homemade jam. See you again soon.
Thank you very much to Danielle. Well, after the break, we'll be hearing from owner and manager of Odette Beauty, Paige Sinnott, who tells us why she believes in natural products, as well as telling us how she set up her business. But first, can you tell me how much the average woman spends on hair and cosmetics in her lifetime? Is it A, £14,000, B, £84,000, or C, £140,000? Find out after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone, your TV program for all things related to mental health, well-being, and also helping you on your way to success. Now, before the break, I asked you how much the average woman spends on hair and cosmetics in her lifetime. Is it A, £14,000, B, £84,000, or C, £140,000? The answer, a whopping £140,000, according to a study by hairtrade.com. Well, this is something my next guest knows all too well. She's Paige Sinnott, owner and manager of Odette Beauty. Hello, Paige.
Hi.
Lovely to have you on the programme.
Thank you.
So what do you think of that figure? Does it sound about right, £140,000?
Yeah, it does sound about right, 100%.
Yeah, so us ladies love to look after ourselves, don't we?
Yep.
So, Paige, you have your own natural beauty business. So can you tell us why you went into that in the first place?
Yeah, I I've always struggled with my skin. I've had breakouts, I've had acne ever since I was a teenager. And I tried everything from facials to sort of more pharmaceutical products and things like that, even sort of acne tablets. And natural just seemed to work for me and my skin.
Okay. Did you used to make your own stuff, or did you do?
No,
actually
I never tried. No, because
Okay.
it can make my skin quite sensitive, so I didn't sort of trust myself.
Yeah.
So I went through a lot of natural products, and I just think that for everyone's skin, natural is a lot better.
Okay. And then what actually made you then go into business and do that? Because what were you doing before you started your business?
I was actually in marketing for a company that does access control for football stadiums.
Oh,
something completely different.
Okay.
But I've always wanted to own my own business, and I got a bit sick of sort of the beauty shops that are out there at the moment and their service and some of their products. And I'm really big on cruelty-free. And I used to have to stand in these shops and sort of Google what products weren't tested on animals and did have natural elements to them. And it just got a bit frustrating. And even when you went into these shops, people would try and sell you things that you might not necessarily need. And I just thought that needed to change, and you felt a bit on edge. So Odette is more to give a more calm environment, more comfortable environment where you can have more honesty and have a bit of a chat about your skin rather than, you know, be bombarded with all this sort of sales.
No, it's quite interesting what you're saying, because when I go into a shop, I don't normally sort of think about where the products come from, but you actually sat there Googling.
Oh yeah, no, I fully had my phone out Googling, making sure that
Really?
nothing was tested on animals.
Okay.
It is a very, very big thing. And there are so many options now. You don't need to buy products that are tested on animals. It's not fair, really.
Okay.
And then if you did ask assistants, sometimes they didn't know what they were talking about, or their target was to sell something to you, so they didn't necessarily know what the right product was for your skin or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that you actually then went on. Obviously, you did always want to own your own business, but it's nice that you actually took something that wasn't really happening and did something about it. So, things being tested on animals, and like I said, the poor customer service and all those kind of things. And you thought, I'm going to do something for myself here and to help. You know,
it had to be changed. And even in terms of our salon, we've now opened a treatment room. A lot of our customers kept saying they don't like sort of the evasive treatments like chemical peels and Botox and fillers. And they don't like the big banners that are shouting at them and people trying to sell them all these facials. We've decided not to do that at all, and all of our treatments are natural based, and we will never do Botox or fillers or anything like that. People wanted somewhere they could be pampered rather than sold to or being made to change their beauty rather than enhancing it. So we just kind of went with what our customers wanted and what I wanted as well from a beauty shop. So that's kind of how it worked out.
How did you actually go about setting it all up? Because it must have been quite a challenge, because it's something obviously completely new and
it was stressful. But my parents and my boyfriend, they own their own businesses, so I did have a background in it, and I did have people to help me out. But yeah, the stress and responsibility is overwhelming sometimes.
So how do you cope then mentally when there's challenges and things?
Literally the people around me. My parents are very, very supportive. They kind of know what to say, when to say it, and give me that push. And like I said, my boyfriend, he's very, very positive. He's never once said I can't do it. It's nice having someone who's always on your side and will always say, you're fine, you can do this. But when you do have those mental days of when you are finding it a bit tough, you just need those people around you to tell you you can do it or work with the problem.
And what's the best thing about having your own business, Paige?
I guess it's helping people, which I know some people might think it's only beauty, it's not a big deal, but you get such a buzz of someone being so happy with what they've received treatment-wise or even product-wise. It makes such a difference in people's lives that people don't really understand. We get a lot of people coming with anxiety who want to just feel special and want to be pampered and want to have a massage which makes them feel, you know, that they can get on with the day. And we do get a lot of people sending us messages and emails thanking us, and you can't, you know,
so it's not just beauty treatment or anything, it's actually more than that. It's even a place where they can even chat if they want.
Exactly, because we are small independent. We get a lot of community members chatting with us, and you know, when you are doing things like nails and eyebrows and even facials, people do open up to you and you get vibes from them. It's nice being able to sort of help people and make them feel a bit special about them.
What about future plans for your business?
Hopefully to grow it. Hopefully have a few more stores. I don't think there's anything like us out there who aren't going into the evasive Botox, lip fillers sort of element. It's more natural and a bit like a spa, but for just an hour. So hopefully a few more stores and things like that.
Okay. And what about anyone watching now that wants to start their own business? Any tips that you could give to them? Now that you're an expert.
I'm so good at it. I think make sure you've got the right people around you, even in terms of like an accountant and things like that. Make sure that you can work with people who are supporting you, because you know some people do enjoy seeing you not fail, but like to question you and things like that. And you just need someone, even if it's not working in your head, you need someone else to tell you that it will be okay. And also, if you are planning on starting a business, crunching the numbers, it really is, it's a big thing. And if once you've nailed them, all the stress does settle down a bit, because it can get a bit overwhelming.
And if you can't do the numbers yourself, get someone that can.
Get an accountant.
Exactly. Paige, thank you so much. It's been lovely speaking to you, and all the best with your business, and keep in touch and let us know how it's going.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys, so as you know, we're always on the hunt for the best places for you to eat and drink at. And this week, our search leads us to Forrest Gump-themed restaurant, Bubba Gump. Let's take a look. So everyone, we're outside the world famous Bubba Gump in London. We are in the heart of the West End here, and we're actually going to try two things today, which is Bubba Gump's breakfast and their lunch. So we are so prepared, aren't we, Julie-Ann?
I am so excited. Let's get eating, yeah.
So now everyone, I'm here with Andrea, who's been here actually since Bubba Gump opened in the UK. Why do you love working here so much? Because you can obviously see how happy you are to be here. What's so special about it here?
I would say the thing special in here, they are the people, and obviously it's not just a job, because when you enjoy something, you do it properly. And when you do something properly, you make people smile, and that's what we do in here. And also, we do different food respect other restaurants. We do many ways how to make shrimp. We have it grilled, we have it coconut, we have it steamed, so in many ways.
So Andrea, apart from the shrimp obviously that you're famous for, you do have other sorts of foods, don't you?
We have many other stuff, not just fish, and we have also gluten-free menu, we have vegetarian menu. So for any kind of option, you are more than welcome to ask us, and we're gonna help you out for sure.
All right, guys, so as you can see, true American style, massive portions. These are my pancakes, and Julie-Ann, you have the waffles.
They're huge, but look at all these berries. Amazing.
See, we have 3 of our 5 a day. That's our excuse for eating this massive breakfast. Well, everyone, that was my first time eating buttermilk pancakes, and I absolutely love them. I'm not exaggerating. I actually want to come here again tomorrow with my husband to have breakfast again. I really enjoyed that. How were your waffles, Julie-Ann?
Oh, they were just divine. Honestly, they were so good. I definitely would come again. Yeah.
So everyone, we couldn't come to Bubba Gump and not try the shrimp, because of course they're very famous for the seafood here. So I have crab stuffed prawns, and what do you have, Julie-Ann?
I have a scampi linguine, and it just looks divine. Amazing.
And we're sharing some of this, obviously one of the specialities at Bubba Gump, which is the fried calamari and shrimp. So we're going to tuck in now.
You are more than welcome to come in and try our shrimp. And also we do trivia, which is a question about movie. We do question easy and difficult one.
Okay.
So when you go the easy, it means you watch the movie. So we go the next step, which is the difficult one. Like how long Run Forest did run across America.
Okay.
And
do you guys know the answer? Do you want to look it up quickly? Don't tell them the answer, Andrea. They have to come here and do the quiz.
Of course, yes. So please come and join us, come and have a dinner with us, and we're gonna make you feel like a family. Because you know, life is like a box of chocolate, you never know what you're gonna get.
Well, everyone, our time has come to an end for our visit at Bubba Gump. I had a really nice time. It was very friendly here, just surrounded by so many lovely things, aren't we?
Yeah. It's just a perfect place where the fantasy of Forrest Gump meets the reality of London. So I really enjoyed it here. It was awesome. And like they do great things for charity as well. So it's not only just great food, it's an amazing place that helps people around us. So yeah,
really good. All right, guys, so back to the studio. Thank you very much to all the staff at Bubba Gump. Well, after the break, I'll be joined by Dr. Rob Hicks, who'll be answering all of your medical questions, including this one. Why is it I never feel fully awake even after a full night's sleep? I still wake feeling groggy and fatigued. So do you sometimes feel the same? Tune in after the break to hear Rob's verdict. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone, the TV program that looks after your mental health, well-being and leads you to success. So now it's time for our weekly Doctor's Answers with our very own Dr. Rob Hicks. And if you have any questions for Rob, please do contact us on info@chrissybshow.tv. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Hi, Chris.
Lovely to have you on.
Yes, I'm in a...
He's in a funny mood today, guys. I don't know why.
a mischievous mood.
He is. So we're going to try and get some serious answers out of him, but let's see how we go. You ready, Rob?
I'll try.
Right, okay. So this is the question that we had before the break. Hi, Rob. Why is it that I never feel fully awake? Even if I sleep for 10 hours a day, I still wake up feeling groggy, fatigued, and sometimes exhausted. Please, can you help?
You know what, Chris? This is a really common problem these days, that people feel, fatigued and tired during the day. And this is where, really, to start things off, I always advise people to do a little bit of detective work.
Okay.
So you've got to look at the sort of things that may be responsible, and some of them are actually just sitting there staring you in the face. And that's that you may not actually need 10 hours sleep. Your body clock may wake you up at about 8 hours in, and then maybe you roll over and say, I'll have another couple of hours. So essentially that leaves you feeling fatigued because your body thinks, well, I've only had 2 hours when I'd normally get 8.
Okay.
Yeah? So you've robbed it.
Yeah.
So what I would like you to do with this is to think, what are the things that keep people awake at night, or at least give them poor sleep at night so they're tired during the day? Well, it might be disturbance. So maybe you're in a room with somebody who snores, so you keep getting woken up. It might actually be that you're using alcohol. You're drinking alcohol before you go to bed, and of course that will, although that might send you off to sleep, that won't give you very good quality sleep, so that'll leave you tired the following day. Is it actually that you've got some kind of allergy that means that you're not getting a good night's sleep because you're constantly coughing or something like that? You might have a medical condition, a physical condition that leaves you tired during the day, and actually it might be anemia, it might be diabetes, it might be an underactive thyroid. So those are the sort of things that people who are fatigued and tired during the day, I always make sure those are checked out. Then there are the emotional aspects that can leave you tired. Tiredness and fatigue is a symptom of depression. It's a symptom of stress and anxiety. So if that might be an issue for you, then certainly have a checkup with your doctor and talk that through, because once that's treated, then you'll find that you've got more energy during the day. If you're taking medication, it might be a side effect of the medication that's leaving you drowsy. One of the commonest reasons for people being tired in this day and age during the day is actually a condition called obstructive sleep apnea. This is essentially somebody who basically they stop breathing for microseconds, but many times during the night, which means that they're not getting a good restful night's sleep, and the following day they're very tired. And there's a problem with this condition that actually it can lead to accidents because somebody is so fatigued. So get yourself checked out. This is a problem that can be overcome once you find out precisely what's causing it. But keep a diary to see whether it's related to noises or maybe alcohol consumption, or indeed other things that you're doing, because it might be then that you can pinpoint the problem and solve it yourself.
Okay, brilliant. Next question, Rob. I have what is known as pigeon chest, a projecting breastbone. Is there any surgery I can take that will rectify it? I'm 15 and find it gets me really down, particularly if I'm changing in front of people?
Yeah, for people who have this condition, that's the major issue, is they're very self-conscious. They're not
for a young person.
Yeah, particularly somebody who's 15 going through puberty, which is it's a challenge enough. Let alone if you've also got a different shaped chest to all your mates, for example. The answer is yes, there is surgery that's available. What people will often suggest initially, though, is they might offer you some physiotherapy, some posture advice, and maybe counselling actually to help you become more confident with your body. But there is surgery available. It's major surgery. And the majority of people who have surgery for this condition have it for precisely the reasons you're discussing, is that actually you feel very self-conscious and you don't want to strip off, so maybe you feel inhibited to go swimming or maybe go to the gym and do all those sort of things that you might want to do. The surgery, as I said, is major. It involves cutting the cartilage that attaches the rib bones to the sternum, the chest bone, and through that process sometimes implants are used or structural pieces of material are used to actually flatten the chest so that it doesn't stick out quite so much or indeed at all. But it's something to consider, but as with all surgery, you've really got to be committed to it, because no surgery is without its inherent risks. But have a chat with your doctor about this, because if it's affecting you psychologically, the last thing that anybody wants is for this problem to bring you down, cause you to become depressed and isolated.
Now, Rob, just a question, with something like that, because it doesn't bring any health risk, does it? But can that be paid for on the NHS, or is that something that they would have to do privately? That's
a very good question. I would have to investigate that myself, but sometimes when a condition is having an emotional effect on a person and it's felt to be affecting them, although some people might see it as cosmetic, this can actually affect breathing.
Okay.
So this is an operation that can be available on the NHS.
Okay, but it's just they have to look at each case.
But you have to look at each case.
Okay,
yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, next question. Hi Rob, I had an ingrowing hair that was causing me a lot of pain, and I went to the hospital to get it removed and stitched. It then became infected and hurt even more, and it turns out that the hospital used the wrong stitches, which didn't dissolve like they should. I now have a permanent scar on my chest. Firstly, do you think I could seek compensation from the hospital? And secondly, what could be done to fix the scar?
Okay, well, the answer to the first question about compensation is I can't advise you on that, because I'm a doctor, not a lawyer. You'd need to speak to a lawyer about that if you want to go down that route. But what I can do is advise you about how you may be able to reduce the appearance of the scar. The first thing to reassure you about is, in time, many scars will fade and become far less visible anyway. So you might want to give it a little bit of time. If you want to speed things up a little bit, then some of the treatments that might be offered are steroid injections into the scar. That can shrink a scar down. Using silicone gel or sheets, that can also reduce the size of a scar. Sometimes scars, a surgeon might recommend having some surgery on the scar to actually make it smaller, but remember that if you have surgery, then you will be left with another scar at least for some period of time. Laser treatment can be used to lessen the appearance of a scar, and sometimes pressure dressings can be used as well. And for many people who are self-conscious about a scar, you can actually use camouflage makeup just to cover it up. So those are the sorts of things that I would suggest that you talk to your doctor about with regards to the scar, because it might actually be that the scar is small enough that those treatments will be very effective, and you won't have to have any further surgery with regards the appearance of it.
Brilliant. Next question. Hi Rob, what's the safest way to get gravel out of a wound? My child fell on concrete and I used an antibacterial wipe, but this really hurt him. Was this the right thing to do?
I think first, you sound guilty, and don't. You've done your best, and you're helping your child, so please put guilt to one side.
Parents can't help it, can they?
No. The role is to feel guilty.
Feel guilty all the time.
Whatever we do. Yeah. First off, in this scenario, you wash the wound with soap and water. You gently try and get the bit of gravel out. If it's not coming out easily, then stop. And you would take your child to in the UK what we have is a minor injuries unit or to A&E, accident emergency, where it can be removed. And then, of course, it'll be the wound. It should be dressed with a clean dressing. The other thing to check is that your child's up to date with tetanus injections, which certainly in the UK they're likely to be. But have a word with your practice nurse or your GP just to make absolutely sure. And as I said right at the beginning, don't feel guilty. You did the right thing.
Rob, the minor injury clinic, is that you said?
A minor injuries unit. They're walk-in units. You can find them. You put your postcode in online to, let's say, the NHS Choices website, and it'll tell you where they are. And what they deal with is things like sprained ankles,
that's good to know.
the sort of minor injuries that don't need A&E. So they're not the major bone breaks. They're not the major
Probably
injuries.
won't have to wait as long as well sometimes.
No, you won't.
Depending.
You won't as well.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's really good to know. Okay, next question, Rob. We have to whiz through now. Hi, Rob. What exactly is cramp and what causes it? I ran home after athletics training the other day and all of a sudden was struck by severe cramp in my calf. I really don't understand it.
Cramp, very, very common problem. What happens is that the muscle goes into spasm, so the muscle contracts, and it's doing it spontaneously without it's outside of your control, and it actually is very uncomfortable, as I'm sure you've experienced. Often there's no obvious cause, but the sort of things that make cramps in muscles more likely is exercise, and you've told us that you were doing some training session and then you did more exercise by running home. Sometimes it can be a side effect of medication. It can also be a side effect of being dehydrated. But the cramps get better on their own. They last seconds to up to 10 minutes, and what you can do in the meantime is just try and stretch them out. If they're occurring on a regular basis, you might want to have a checkup, but it sounds to me in your scenario it was one of the cramps that develop after possibly over-exercising.
Okay, and now one last question, Rob. What is the safest way of treating a styie? I'm tempted to cut it off, but don't really want to take a pair of scissors to my eye. Please don't do that.
Please, please don't. No. Do not take scissors anywhere near your body, really, apart from fingernails and toenails, or hairs that you want to just trim. Certainly don't take them anywhere near your eye, because you're likely to slip and do yourself far more damage. The safest thing to do with styes is to use a warm compress. So let's say a clean flannel that's been warmed up in warm water, and you press it against the stye for a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 times a day. And that will help it go down. If it's painful, use painkillers that you can get from any local pharmacy. And what is a good idea is not to use contact lenses or eye makeup if you normally would, until the stye is completely healed. Keep an eye out for things with the stye that should prompt you to see your doctor. So, for example, if it's very red and painful, or if it's discharging, pus, if it's interfering with your vision, or if it's not getting better after a few days. And your doctor may well then, try and prick it, or they may remove the eyelash that's nearest to the stye, or they may refer you to an eye specialist to have it treated. But generally speaking, with the warm compress and time, this will get better on its own. But do not try and do self-surgery. That's the last thing you should be considering.
Please don't. Rob, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you again next week to answer more of our viewer questions.
Yeah.
And don't forget, guys, if you have a question for Rob, you can email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. Well, after the break, we have declutterer Sally Walford, who'll be giving us her tips on how to clean and organise the kitchen, and I'll be giving you some tips on how you can go organic on a budget. But first, a quiz for you. Which country is the biggest consumer of organic food in Europe? Is it A, Germany, B, France, or C, the UK? I'll tell you after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone, where today we have been talking all about natural products. Now, before the break, I asked you which country was the biggest consumer of organic food. Is it A, Germany, B, France, or C, the UK? The answer is actually C, it's us. But whilst we eat the most, we only grow 5% of what we eat here on our shores. Most is transported from thousands of miles away. Well, now we're joined by professional declutterer Sally Walford, who's about to give us her tips on how to clean and organise your kitchen. Hello, Sally. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Chrissy. Hi.
Lovely to have you on.
Thanks. Nice to be back.
Now, I have to say, I have put some of your tips into practice, because you remember last time you were on, you were talking about the photos.
Yes.
And having loads of photos and stuff. So what I've started to do actually is scan some pictures, and I'm getting rid of the hard copies. I'm decluttering things like that. So it's been such a great journey. I'm really enjoying it.
Fantastic. Yeah, hopefully that'll be a domino effect as well, and you'll just keep going with all of that.
I've actually got loads of stuff. And it's really good. I can, it's easy to organise, it's easy to clean. So I have been following your tips. Thank you very much.
This is great news. Well, we could talk about the kitchen then. Maybe you could take this back. So what a great time to start getting ready for the summer. Yes. And why not start with your kitchen? I've got some great top tips for that.
Brilliant.
So the first one that I've got is always have clear receptacles. So that can be like plastic containers or even jars. These are great for storing all your things. Firstly, you're going to see what you've got, so you don't duplicate items. So therefore, you're also saving some money. So we're going to keep on top of all of our products in that way, and that means that we're not having excessive buying and having to put other things in more storage. So after that, how about let's tackling that cutlery drawer, because it can be a bit of a nightmare.
People just kind of tend to
throw things in. So dividers, always get some good dividers, and this can apply as well to the spatulas, for the ladles, all those kind of things that sort of like you might have bought for a recipe and then you've only used once. So let's get decluttering those and only have the things that we're using in the kitchen. So
sometimes you can kind of keep things just in case.
But
or
then
should you have a just in case drawer?
You can have a just in case drawer, but if you've not used it for 6 months, I think it could go. Yeah, let's let it go. One of my favourites is herbs and spices. All of my clients, I've been into all of their kitchens, and right at the back of that cupboard, there's always that one spice that's perhaps been used for that one recipe again, out of date. So let's tackle those. And also it's going to get you in the mood for decluttering and organising that kitchen. So therapeutically, it's incredible to clean, tidy and declutter any room, but let's start with the kitchen.
So can you go into a bit more detail about the spices though? Like what kind of things how would you actually, apart from getting rid of the ones out of date, is there anything else you should do?
I mean, if you have the space in your kitchen, I would recommend that you use a drawer actually to have your herbs and spices, because it's easier then to see what you've got. If you don't have that space, then you can always put them in a plastic container so they're all together. So as you're pulling them out, you're constantly being able to see what you've got and what you need to get. So that's a good top tip as well.
I suppose, because most people put their tea towels in the drawer or something, but you don't really need to see those. They can be tucked away somewhere else, couldn't they?
Exactly. And again, they all come in clear jars. So you can keep on top of it by seeing exactly what you've got.
Brilliant. And how about actual cleaning as well? Because we talked about sort of natural products earlier with our guest Paige. What about maybe cleaning things for the kitchen?
So for me, I've actually been through quite a few natural products, and my favourite product that I use throughout the whole of my home is Method products. And I don't know if you've heard of them, but they are non-toxic, not tested on animals, and they have fantastic smells. They're just incredible, and they clean amazingly. Because a lot of people, I think, if they're using perhaps non-organic products, think, the organic products aren't going to clean as well.
Or smell as nice.
Or smell as nice, exactly. But these products are absolutely fantastic. One of them that I use is French lavender smell. And I always think that's such a great smell to have in any room, but particularly your bedrooms, or, it's nice calming effect. So again, you're being cleaning, feeling calm and decluttering. And
not sleepy, I hope,
everything. No, not sleeping.
Because sometimes I work from home, so I don't know if I need to, need something to wake me up.
But then you can have the zesty orange one or something like that. So, but they're definitely worth looking at. And they clean fantastically.
Brilliant. We'll try those out, Sally. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And lovely to have you on again, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Chrissy.
Brilliant. Okay guys, so now it's time for my tips on how to eat organic, and these are courtesy of Vani Hari, otherwise known as the Food Babe. Okay, so as I said earlier, these tips come courtesy of Vani Hari, otherwise known as the Food Babe, and I've picked out a few of the tips, but if you want to see all of them, then do check out her website, foodbabe.com. So the first thing she suggests is to find and use organic vouchers. So check websites for, of your favorite companies for vouchers and special promotions, and almost all of them have some kind of vouchers at some point. The second point is to stay organized and do it yourself. So plan out your meals for the week according to organic foods that are on sale and or that you have coupons for, and do it yourself rather than buy it. So you can make things like your own organic granola bars, kale chips, smoothie juices, all those kind of things. And that's actually something that I like to do. I don't think I should go and pay like £5 or £6 for a juice when I can make it at a fraction of the price at home, although I do sometimes, to be honest, when I don't feel like juicing. So there are lots of ways that you can actually save money and do something like that. The next point is to use your freezer. So apparently 9 times out of 10, the organic frozen produce at the store is cheaper than fresh, especially if the fruit or vegetable is out of season. And she's also saying to freeze all leftovers and buy local produce when in season and freeze to save for out of season times. The next point is to make choices. So according to Vani, the food babe, meat and dairy, so animal products like chicken, eggs, cheese, butter, yogurt and milk, are the most important to buy organic because of the combined risk of pesticide, antibiotic and cancer-causing growth hormone exposure. So she suggests reducing meat and dairy consumption if you can't afford organic. And one way to do this is to be vegan before 6. So for example, have a green smoothie for breakfast with something called Ezekiel toast, and then a large salad with lentils at lunch, or a wrap made with hummus, and then at night choose high quality meat in smaller portions. So basically you're reducing the amount of organic meat used by substituting half the portion with organic beans or something like that. Okay, so great points there. And as I said, if you want to know the rest of the points, then do visit Rani's website. Well guys, we have reached the end of today's program, but if you would like to contribute to this program in any way, you can visit our website, chrissybshow.tv. If you have an interesting story to tell us as well, then please do get in touch, info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Until next time, bye-bye for now.